Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today I bought something very unusual. Very rare and unusual indeed. Just this morning I got a call from a car trader friend of mine who's offered me this 2002 Nissan Navara diesel that's done nearly 200,000 miles for just £500. But it gets even better. The previous owner, who I think has sadly passed away, used this truck as a bit of an expedition vehicle. I'm told there's a tent on the roof or some sort of awning, and in the back it's full of camping gear. So I'm not really sure what to expect. Can't recall ever buying anything like this before. But there's a first time for everything, isn't there? So, just overtake this cyclist. I am very excited. God knows what I'm going to do with it, but when has that ever stopped me? I'm still giddy. Now, I haven't actually seen this truck yet. I haven't even seen a photograph of it. I've only had a description over the phone. But I'm told it's been parked up for about 2 years, so the MOT is well expired. And it looks a bit of a state. Apparently it's full of moss and mould. Now this, combined with the fact it's got no MOT, would have put most people off, wouldn't it? Not me. It's just made me more excited. Now this era of Navara is known as the D22 and it's been around since 1997. It ran until 2005 and it was something of a class leader back in the day in terms of the way it drove. At this point I should give a shout out to a friend of mine who told me all those details. I had no idea. I think he was quietly pleased and smug that he finally knew something about a car that I didn't. So cheers, buddy. The only piece of trivia that I knew about this era of Navara is that in the US, it was badged as the Frontier. How's that for nerdy detail? You know, thinking about it, I don't even know what engine this truck will have. I assume, like most trucks of that period, it'll have some gruff, grunty, 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine. But, genuinely don't know. Anyway, we're nearly there, so let's go and have a look, shall we? Well, we're here, and that looks really cool, actually. I can tell from here it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's quite a cool truck, that. It's a king cab, so it's sort of like a cab and a half, if you know what I mean. But that does provide a bit more storage and a longer back. Yep, it's full of moss and green stuff. It's got a roof box, I guess a storage box, which is ajar. Don't know whether it's been driven back like that. And there is some sort of tent or awning thing wrapped up in a bag on the top. This is going to stink, isn't it? It's an 02, which I knew already. It's a West Country car, west of England. Headlamps want buffing, it wants new reg plates, the usual sorts of stuff. Wheels are corroded. I'm not too interested in any of that, to be honest. It's 500 quid. I was just more interested in the story with it, really, and where it's been, and where it could possibly go. This should be quite an interesting car vertical check, shouldn't it? So, not wasting any more time, let's do that. We'll head to carvertical.com. And you can either type in the VIN or the reg. Now we know the reg is Whiskey Mike 02, so it's 22 years old. Alpha Foxtrot Echo, check vehicle. Now it's really important that you do one of these checks before you hand over any cash for a used car or motorbike. If you use my promo code HIGHPEAK, that's HIGHPEAK all one word, you'll save yourself 20% off each and every check that you do. What concerns me about an older Japanese car like this is that it might be as rotten as a pear underneath. It might not be worth repairing. We'll see. It could sail for its MOT, couldn't it? But I've been here before. That's going to need some welding, I imagine. If it's been off the road for 2 years and just sat there, then it will need some welding. This is currently checking databases in 35 different countries and it checks hundreds of millions of cars. So, I mean, a car like that, it might have a history in another country. We'll soon find out. Don't forget that's promo code HIGHPEAK for 20% off, or alternatively, click the link below in the video description. Okay, so that is a 2002 diesel. It's never been clocked. I'd hope not as well, with 200,000 miles on the clock. No outstanding finance, no recorded damage. That's all good. It hasn't been stolen. The last odometer reading was 196,000 miles, and that was in, oh wow, 3 years ago, July 21. And it had done about 5,000 miles a year every year since then, so it's consistent at least. 1 year it dropped to 70, but I don't believe that. That was probably 117 and someone's input the wrong figure. And again, they're at 52, which is probably 32. But this happens all the time, you know. Doesn't mean it's been clocked, it just means it's been MOT'd by an imbecile. It is a 4-cylinder diesel, as I predicted. It's a pickup truck, and it is a Nissan. There we go. Let's find out a bit about its history then. We've got all the MOT history there, so let's go down to the most recent one. 21, nearly 3 years. 3 years ago, 2.5 years. So it failed its MOT in July 21 on an offside headlamp intensity severely reduced, and the same for the near side. The advisor items were hole in rear box floor, oil leak, vehicle structure is corroded, but structural rigidity is not significantly reduced. What did I say? Rust, rust, rust. Side step support bar corroded near side, and then it passed with those advisory items. But we know a bit about it now, don't we? Should we go and have a root round inside? That's the best thing, isn't it? I love rooting around someone else's stuff. It's a bit weird, isn't it, that? But I can't help it. Okay, then let's go and look at this outdoor expedition vehicle. It looks quite cool, doesn't it? Forgive me here, because I don't know what I'm talking about at all. So there will be lots of generic phrases, I imagine. No point looking at tyres and stuff, is there? I'll let my MOT guy do that. I'm more intrigued about what's inside. It is covered in moss, look at this. Nothing that a good hot jet wash wouldn't sort out, I'm sure. Where should we start then? Up top there we've got a storage box. I don't really know what's in that bag. Need to have a good route around, don't we, really? Not sure. Let's have a look in the back then. So in the back, it smells very mouldy. We've got a bucket, Delilah. What about... There we go. So in these drawers, we've got a false floor. So we'll pull this out. Hang on. Oh. Ah, we've got cooking stuff. Right. So in here then, I imagine. Yeah, right. It's lined with stainless steel, so I imagine someone's rested the little stove there, or, you know, 2-ring burner, or throwaway barbecue, or whatever it is people do when they don't stay in a hotel. So that's that. Got some cooking apparatus there. Some cutlery. It's the deepest thing in the world. Goes right through to the bonnet, I bet. This is quite cool, actually. Quite like the idea of just jumping in your car and disappearing to somewhere where you can't get a phone signal. There we go. What's in the other one then? So in here, oh, needs oiling. Got a net here. So imagine if you go down to the river, you can fish your own supper, can't you? Chopping board, cleaning stuff. What have we got here? I might sound very ignorant here, but I don't know what that is. Do you? Don't laugh now, but is that a collapsible spade? I think it might be, you know. What an odd thing. Quite a lot of room in there. You could sleep in there, couldn't you? I guess, unless you were like 6'4" or something. Stephen Merchant couldn't, but I could. What else can I show you? We've got a GB number plate there from when we were in the EU, and then someone's covered it up. So I'm guessing, I think, we know which way this previous owner voted, don't we? I think. Let's have a look inside then. So inside it stinks of mould, and it's full of stuff. Full of it, right. We've got tape measures, Stanley knife. This is quite typical of a 90s car in that the door pockets are very, very narrow. You need very slender hands. Got a torch here. You never know when that'll come in handy, do you? What else have we got? Not sure what that is. Yeah, right. Loads of stuff. You know what, I bet all this stuff is worth more than the amount that I paid for the car. Probably worth more than the car, actually. Got an elbow pad there, just for a bit of added comfort. Electric windows, electric mirrors. Right, so what about this then? I've already found some sunglasses. I like to find a pair of sunglasses. Snazzy. Very snazzy. And it looks like, yeah, the needle from the fuel gauge is missing. In fact, the whole glass thing's missing. That's weird, isn't it? So I can just, There we go, look at that. Doesn't feel like I'm doing 60, but who knows? Who am I to argue? We've got some, I don't know what that is there, look. He's put lots of stickers everywhere. Height with top box. I mean, it's quite handy. I'm not knocking it. Oh, fuses are under there. I like this sort of era of Japanese workhorse. Then what have we got? Then we've got plenty of glove compartments. We've got some more cutlery there. We've got the fascia for the radio. No thief would ever think of looking in there, would they? Take them out. There we go. Ah, look at that. We've got 2 cup holders. I thought that was going to be a pop-out Aldi special sat-nav. Like that sort of stuff, but it's not. In here we've got a very slender ashtray and another one there, which has just fallen out on me. Got some pens. This is a go-anywhere vehicle, isn't it? We've got some more sunglasses there, look. Tissues. Cut myself again. And in this glove box, we've got a Sharpie and another torch. Because you can never have too many torches. And it takes, in case you're wondering, 3 AAAs. Pleased to know about that. In here, we've got paperwork and service history. We've got what looks like a fishing tackle box, but it probably isn't. Spare wheel studs, spare bulbs. Lots of mould everywhere. My trade plates there. We've got loads of history. Have a look at this. WMO2 AFE. First bill of sale. Sale to me. All work done up to 2014. This is what you want to see, isn't it? Big thick wallet full of history. Look at this. From when the previous owner bought it. Looks much tidier there, doesn't it? Hang on, it's not still black over silver, is it? I thought it was all black. Yeah, someone's been busy with the aerosol matte, haven't they? Because it was once black over silver. And now, of course, it isn't. It's ABE. It's all black everything. Let's go back to the history then. So he'd done 158,000 miles when he bought it. Look at all this. MOT history. I'm gonna have to be careful here, I don't show you any personal information. So we've got the original bill of sale. Ah. It's come from Kent. A nice part of Kent as well. All the MOTs, going back to the old style MOTs. I love to see this. I really geek out over all this sort of stuff. Right. In 2015 it had some serious engine work at an engine specialist in Yorkshire. All the current MOTs, that's brought up to date then. Then in the other folder, which I dropped, we've got the logbook. That's quite interesting. I've never seen this before, but I love to see it. I wouldn't have time to do it myself. Let me show you this. The previous owner's printed off everything there is to do with the car. So insurance, MOT, RAC or AA, tax, V5, when it expires, how much it was last time. How good's that? I can only wish I was that organised. I can't even file my tax returns on time. What else have we got then? We've got what looks like a lunchbox here, but I don't think it is. Jump leads. I'll keep those. So that's that. Then we've got a police officer's little notepad here that is suspiciously sticky actually. Leave that alone, I think. Leave that well alone. We've got some knee pads here, I think. I think they're knee pads, aren't they? And some, don't know, oil and some sweetener and a Swiss Army knife. Should we have a look in the back then, because I can see lots and lots of stuff back there. I'll be quite excited. So in the king cab, we need to pop the seat forward like that. Will it slide? No. Okay then, what have we got? I don't know what they are. Do they go over your shoes for grip? I don't know. Don't laugh at me. Not sure. Air compressor. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's a kettle to boil water. Travel mug there. Keeps hot stuff hot and cold stuff cold. We've got some holders there for your tissues. I don't know what that is. Ah, siphon and inflator, right, okay, very good. This has got all sorts of stuff. Torch. What size is that? You wouldn't whack over the head with that, would you? As intrigued as I am, I don't like going through somebody's stuff when they've passed on. Fire extinguisher. It happens quite a lot of work this way. We buy, you know, something from a deceased estate, and I always feel a bit uncomfortable with it. I just always think they were the last person to use it, and they didn't expect to, you know, not be around anymore. Anyway, enough of those depressing thoughts. Let's go around the other side, shall we? Quite a nice day today. Lovely day for rooting around a 21-year-old Nissan Navara pickup. D22, might I add. So back here then, oh look at that, we've got an inverter. That's good. We've got something here which once contained some fabric softener, I imagine. Some clothes, look at this. All sorts of stuff. I wonder where he went in this, I'd love to know. Kitchen roll. I would like to have something like this and just disappear off into the Highlands of Scotland or something for a few days. Don't know what this is. I know that's an atlas. You don't have to tell me that. I'm quite bright. How do we move the seat forward? There we go. Right, well I enjoyed that. I can't drive this then because of its lack of MOT, but we should fire it up really, shouldn't we? Could take it around this car park. It's private land, no one's going to see me. Only you, of course, but I'm sure you can keep a secret. Well, all right then, let's fire up the old Nissan. See how she runs. I don't even know if this will start, you know. We've got a radio. Sounded a bit strange at first, but sounds quite sweet, that. Very sweet. What are we doing then? Handbrake off. It's done 197,736. I haven't driven a Nissan of this era for a very long time, actually. I'm not a massive diesel fan, as I've mentioned, but this era of truck really suits a strong old diesel. Like driving an old Shogun or Patrol or something. Just love it. It feels quite solid. Listen to that. I think what we need to do then is get this down to my mechanics. I'll book it in for an MOT so then I can legally drive it there. Take it down there and see how bad it is. In fact, I think what we should do to bring you guys along is get it up on the ramp and then I'll go down there with my camera and I'll show you around it. See if it'll pass its MOT. Even if it passes with loads of MOT advisories, I'm not really bothered. It doesn't matter, does it? It's a 22-year-old car, truck, whatever it is, king cab. I like this already. I'm quite smitten, as you can probably tell by my cheesy grin. I think that'll do for today then. I'll book it in tomorrow morning and I'll see you down there. How's that? Oh, that reminds me actually, I need to close that storage box on the top in case I end up going through under a low bridge. Saying that, we know the height, don't we? Because I've got my sticker here. Right, I'll see you down there, guys. Right guys, I've got an update for you regarding this cheap Navara expedition vehicle. It isn't good news. I took this down to my mechanics for a service and an MOT because if you remember it hadn't had an MOT for 2 or 3 years and I kind of knew that a Japanese truck of this era was going to be a little bit ripe. Well, it turned out to be rotten as a pear. Not just ripe, completely rotten. My mechanic said that the chassis had been patched up before, which is an MOT fail apparently, and it needs an awful lot of welding. So what do I do? What do I do? At the end of the day, it's done nearly 200,000 miles, so it isn't really worth saving, but I just got carried away with the idea of it because I thought it was quite cool. I mean, I paid £500 for it, so I can't really go wrong. It needs a battery for sure, and a load of welding. Now I thought about possibly getting in touch with my Ukrainian mate to see if they wanted it, you know, for their efforts over there, but without an MOT, you can't drive it there. And in the past, all the cars that we've taken to, or we've sent to Ukraine, he's driven over there. He's loaded them full of stuff and then driven them to Ukraine. But with this, with no MOT, that isn't possible. So it would have to be towed there or trailered there. I don't know how that would work. I think before it gets scrapped, I'm going to send him a message anyway, just to see if he wants the challenge, I suppose. I think it would be quite good over there, a bit like the 06 Navara that we sent over there. So there might be a little bit of life left in it, but not here and not on UK roads, unfortunately. My mechanic said that there were some other issues with it as well, as you might expect, but the welding was the biggest. In fact, she kind of shook her head when I inquired about it. So that's about it, I suppose, sadly. Worst case, I think I can get about £350 for it in scrap, so it isn't the end of the world. It's just a bit of a shame, really, because I do get a bit carried away and I like to rescue these vehicles. But that one, unfortunately, is a bit too far gone. This is the trouble when you leave vehicles sitting for a long period of time. I don't know where that was parked, but it could have been parked on grass or something, in which case it doesn't help the chassis. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you once again for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. I'll leave the links below. And let me know in the comments what you would do. I won't make any rash decisions with it until this video goes live, so let me know. And if you've got any suggestions, email me, matt@ipcortos.com. Cheers guys, I'll see you next time.